Howdy everybody. I'm out here today to finish the job of running hot lines from the fence charger out to a post that will be hot that we can connect to out on the farm. So let's get to it. You remember that the charger is inside this green metal box here, and the line is running down here inside the greenhouse, and now we're going to connect it so that it goes this way out, down underneath this shade cloth, and then going up underneath the fence. I've actually gone underneath the fence, dug a hole so that I don't have to run it over the top, and then out through a ditch that is going to wind up adjacent to the corner of the chickadee house. There's a lot of grass growing over it now, but you can see the ditch that we've dug to put the pipe underground. Okay, now we're working with high-tensile galvanized wire, 12 gauge. This stuff is not easy to work with. It doesn't bend easily. Now, one thing I had to learn the hard way when I did this the first time is that you have to think backwards. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that every PVC connection that I'm going to make, I have to think about it in advance, what the whole system is going to look like, and then put those elements in now, because I'm going to have to splice this wire with the wire that's hooked up to the charger. So I don't want to make it any harder. So that means that from the charger going out, the first piece of PVC I'm going to need is this one. And so I'm going to put that in there now, because if I don't, I'm going to be sorry. I'm going to be working along and all of a sudden I'm going to realize that I'm going to have to cut the wire. And every time you have to cut the wire, then you have to splice it. And splicing it is not easy. This is 12 gauge wire. I have to bend this a little bit. Let's use the pliers. There we go. And so the next thing I'm going to need is an elbow to go on top of that piece of PVC. So now that's going in here. And I forgot something. So I'm going to have to go back and get it. Just a minute. So I forgot this cross piece that I'm going to need. I'm going to need another elbow. And then a vertical piece here, a longer vertical piece to exit the greenhouse. Okay, so that's out. And then I need one more elbow. Now, as I said, if I don't do this, I'm going to have to cut the wire and then splice it. And you may say, well, you know, that's not that big of a deal. There's a figure 8 knot that you can use to join two wires together. I know all about that. And actually, I've tried it. I simply don't have the strength in my upper body and my arms to manipulate this wire very well. And so I'm trying to avoid as much as possible having to splice any wires. And you can go on YouTube, you can see guys, they're winding it around and what have you. That doesn't work for me. So now I have to think about the tube links that are going to come all the way out here, and I'm going to have to put them on here too. So now I'm going to push all of these fittings and small tubes down the wire up to the point where I'm going to splice it. Okay, so now I'm going inside the greenhouse to start the assembly process. Okay, now we're going to glue the PVC. Again, this 12 gauge wire is difficult to work with. Okay, now I'm going to cover up gently the ditch here. Okay, more glue. Now for the horizontal bridge. Okay, our filming had to be postponed due to a major rain delay the other day. And then the following day after that, I had to go into Matagalpa, into town, to do some errands. Now we're in jeopardy of another rain delay, and so rather than have the camera out here with the tripod and all of that and then have the rain come quickly, I just simply finished it. There wasn't that much more to do. I just had to run the long tube in the ditch and make a couple other connections, so I'll show you those now. Okay, so here's what else I had to do. As you can tell, I had to put the elbow here on the outside and then run a PVC down vertically, put another elbow that's now covered up by some mud from the rainstorm, and then run the long tube all the way out through here. You can see the tube there, and then it goes out farther out through here until we get to the end. So that's it. The only thing left to do is to cover the tube with the dirt that we dug from the ditch, and then everything will be set. So we now will have 2 lines running out to different parts of the farm that we can use to hook up the electrical fences for the sheep. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.